Hello from San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Rico. We were here a year ago and took a walking tour, and we're going to do the reverse tour today. And can't wait. It's just a lovely, walkable town. And we're going to take you with us.
Yes, and we have our senior pass with us so we can get into both the U.S. National Park's forts that the Spanish built hundreds of years ago.
And we'll take you along and also along the streets of Old San Juan. So let's go on our adventure.
Yes, right now.
Okay. We are sail away with Bruce and Eileen, a retired couple that loves to cruise. Welcome or welcome back to our channel. The ship docked at Pier East 3, and the best part is that downtown is only about a 7-minute walk from the ship. It couldn't be more convenient. After leaving the port area, we made our way to the Paseo de la Princesa. This tree-lined promenade is lovely, and in mid-December, it was decorated for Christmas with lights, garland, and this huge Christmas ball, great for a photo op. We passed along the beautifully decorated walls of the tourist office. The tourist office definitely is worth a stop, especially if this is your first visit to San Juan, and they do have restroom facilities here. Check out this gorgeous tree that was in front of the office. The festive atmosphere really added to the magic of our walk. At the end of this promenade, we come to the Raices Fountain. That's Spanish for roots. This beautiful sculpture was completed in May 1992 to celebrate the 500th anniversary of the New World. We continue on the Paseo de la Princesa, heading toward the entrance to the San Juan Historic Site and our first destination of El Morro.
So there is some historic preservation going on, but not only preservation, but they're using it as a training center to train future preservationists. This is the Malcom, a massive wall port structure built by the Spanish to protect this valuable harbor and island from invading countries.
As we round the bend, we catch our first glimpse of La Fortaleza. This 16th century fortification is actually still in use today as the governor's mansion, making it one of the oldest executive mansions in continuous use in the Western Hemisphere. We've arrived at the entrance to the Paseo del Morro, or pathway to El Morro. The sign said that it is a 1.5-mile round trip, no restrooms, and slippery when wet. Though we are going one way as we plan to head up into the fort at the end of the pathway, and there are restrooms there. Continuing on the Paseo del Morro, we come to an ancient banyan tree guarding the entrance to the San Juan Gate, the original entrance to the walled city. And if you were arriving from Spain in the 1500s through the 1800s, you would enter San Juan through that gate right there. The gate meant protection and relief for weary travelers. The walk along the fortress walls is absolutely breathtaking. The Atlantic Ocean is crashing on one side against the massive walls that have stood here for centuries, protecting the city from invaders and pirates. The views are stunning. You've got the brilliant blue ocean on one side and these incredible colonial fortifications on the other. This is why we love cruise travel. Where else can you step off of a ship and be walking through history like this? Look at all the moss and ferns growing on the sides of the walls. Although pretty, plants are a destructive force to the walls and must be constantly removed.
Damage control. Wind, rain, and waves rode the thing. Breakwater was installed in 49. And the riprap was installed during the 70s and 90s. We turned around the corner and our first glimpse of the fort ahead.
This fortress was built by the Spanish starting in 1539 to guard the entrance to San Juan Bay. And now we are ascending the steps up to the fort. And there goes Bruce. I better catch up with him. Wonder how many steps there are. Wait up for me. view from the top of the first bank of steps. Just gorgeous here. Highly recommend taking this way into the fort. Beautiful. Okay, full disclosure, walking up to El Morro is a bit of a workout, especially with temperatures in the mid-80s. There are quite a few steps, and we're definitely feeling it. But hey, not bad for a couple of 74-year-olds, right? The climb is absolutely worth it for what we're about to see.
Wow, it looked massive from below. It's even looks more massive from inside. We have here top of the steps. Oh my, look what you can see from up here. There's the old town of San Juan.
We finally head into the actual castle structure. This is where our National Park Pass comes in handy. We get in free with our pass. If you don't have a pass, it's $10 per adult and kids under 15 are free, which gets you into both forts. It's a fantastic value for what you get to experience. Inside, there's so much to explore. The plaza, the various levels, the barracks. Each room tells part of the story of the soldiers who lived and worked here. The informative displays really bring the history to life, explaining the strategic importance of this fortress and the daily life of those who defended it.
Hi there.
We are in the old fort up here, and as you can see, I am sweating. It is time to be sure and take water with you. There's signs around that say stay hydrated, and that's a fact. Leaving the barracks below, we walked along the outer battlements, which once again afforded us with spectacular views and a real sense of how strategic this location was. We've loved our time here visiting El Morro, but it's time to leave because we have a second fort to visit, Paseo San Cristobal, which is about a 30-minute walk from here. As we're leaving El Morro, check out this massive dry moat that served as an additional line of defense. And look at this enormous lawn in front of the fort. This area is super popular for kite flying. On weekends, you'll see families out here with colorful kites dancing in the ocean breezes. This long, wide walkway into Old San Juan from El Morro is about a quarter mile, but perfectly flat. If you have mobility issues, this would be your entrance to the fort. Now we're walking along the street towards the second fort, San Cristobal. This street runs along the top of the old city walls and offers some incredible perspectives on both the ocean side and the city side of Old San Juan. Along the way, we paused to look down at La Perla. This colorful community has a fascinating history. It was established in the 18th century outside the city walls, originally as the location for a slaughterhouse and homes for slaves and servants who weren't allowed to live within the walled city. From La Perla, it's a short walk to Paseo San Cristobal. While El Morro protected the city from sea attacks, San Cristobal was built to defend against land-based invasions. It's actually the largest fortification built by the Spanish in the New World. Pretty impressive, right? We are in the bookstore in the second fort, and guess what I found? That's a medallion for my hiking stick. I'm glad I thought of it. I can't wait to add it.
What do you mean? I add it.
Okay, he's going to put it on for me. Thank you, dear. We are here in the heart of San Cristobal. This is the main plaza, completed in 1797, and it looked like then, almost like we see it now. Now we're heading into the tunnels, also called the dungeons. It's dark, it's dank, and it really gives you a sense of what it must have been like to be stationed here, or worst, imprisoned. The temperature drop is actually pretty welcome on a hot day like today. After exploring the tunnels, we head up to the battlements.
This is more exciting than a tunnel. Whatever those tunnels were, they're underneath here, so you can play real-life Dungeons and Dragons down there.
From atop the battlements, we had a great view of the port and took the opportunity to do a little ship spotting.
So what's in port? We got the NCL Breakaway, the Sky Princess, of course, we're on. That looks like the Azamara Quest to the left. And it does kind of look like an Oceano or a Viking type ship.
At this point, we've been walking and exploring for hours, and we're getting pretty hungry and tired. The heat is really getting to us. Remember, it's close to 90 degrees by now. We thought about finding a cafe in the city, but honestly, we're ready to head back to the comfort of our ship. On the way back, we passed many street vendors and the statue of Christopher Columbus, who discovered Puerto Rico on his second voyage to the Americas in 1493.
Here we are, back at port, and there's the NCL Breakaway, the Sky Princess, the Viking Sea, and beyond that is the Azamara Quest.
Princess welcomed us back with cool, wet hand towels and glasses of refreshing fruit-scented water. One of the best things about cruise travel, when you're done exploring, your floating hotel is waiting for you. Oh, this feels so good. Wonderful, wonderful. And what better way to end our Old San Juan experience than with a beautiful mid-afternoon sail away. What a fantastic day we had. We logged 12,000 steps exploring those two incredible forts and the beautiful streets of this historic city. If you're planning a cruise that stops in San Juan, we highly recommend this walking tour. Just remember to bring water, wear comfortable shoes, and if you're a senior, don't forget your National Park Pass. I hope you enjoyed this video.
If you do, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you later.
Alrighty, happy sailing!